the Seamwork magazine Almada Robe. This is my latest version. I've got to say, this is the pattern that I've made the most versions of. Nearly everybody in my family and my friends have had one of these robes for either a birthday present or a Christmas present, and I've not yet got bored of making it. It's such a super pattern to make, and it's super easy. So if you are a beginner and you're wanting a pattern that is great to start with, I definitely recommend this. So I'll tell you a little bit about Seamwork first of all, in case you're not familiar with them. Seamwork are the same people that make the Colette patterns, so they are well known for patterns that being patterns that teach. And my experience of working with them is just that. They are great. The instructions are really clear. The only thing that I find a little bit of a downfall is the instruction pictures are, I'll just find them for you, are kind of drawn images rather than photographs, and I just find it a little bit easier to follow step-by-step instructions using photographs. But other than that, I do find them really clear and really easy to follow. Seamwork, you can just buy the patterns individually, but I am a member and I pay about £5 a month, and then each month you get 2 credits, and then you can use those credits towards either buying a Seamwork pattern, which is just 1 credit, or a Colette pattern, which is 3 credits. So if you are happy with the Seamwork, then you can get 2 each month. If you're looking for the Colette, then you need to save up 3, so you can get 1 every couple of months. I suppose every 2 months you could get a Colette and a Seamwork pattern. So a little bit more about this pattern itself. As I say, it's super easy. There aren't many pattern pieces at all because it's a kimono style. So you've got the pattern front, which is just 2 pieces, and then you have the back as well, which is 2 pieces, but you join them together with a centre seam, and the sleeves are part of the pattern, so you don't have to set them in or anything like that. So if you've not done sleeves before, then this is a great opportunity to just dip your toe in, really. As far as closures go, you can see that it has a tie belt. So the belt, I'll just undo it so I can show you, it attaches to the kimono itself, so when it ties, it pulls it in and gives it that really lovely cocoon style, or kind of more of a traditional kimono style than the kimono that I'm wearing here. So then closure at the top, it's just simply a press stud. You can use the sew-in press studs. What I actually use are the snap presses. I just find them really easy to install rather than hand sewing a press stud. But to use the snap fastens, you do need a tool. Mine are made by Prim, and this is the tool that you use just to squeeze them in place. But it's about £8, but it's a really good investment. I do use that a lot. Fabric wise, you do need a fabric that's quite drapey. So the version that I've made here is made from Liberty of London Tarna lawn, which drapes beautifully whatever you use it for. I have made several versions though, as I say, with varying fabrics. I have used cotton, which is a little bit stiffer, and that has worked out good. And I have used another cotton to make longer versions as well. That's the only thing that I would say with this pattern. For me, the standard length that the pattern comes as is perfect. I would rather have a shorter length robe, but you can see it on the picture here. It is quite short, and I will add some photos onto the end of the video so you can see what it looks like being worn. So when I have made them, I made one for my mum, for example, but what I did is I lengthened it so as it came down to knee length. So to do that, you just kind of cut the pattern at the hip line and add in a strip of paper to lengthen it by however much longer you want it to be. So again, if you have a look at the pictures that I add at the end of this video, I'll include this version being worn, but then there's a couple of other versions as well, and one of them is a longer length to the knee, and it did turn out really good. The fabric that you need lengthwise, I think it's about 2 meters. Let me just check. It's just under 3 meters, so if you're using a 60-inch fabric, it's 2 3/4 meters that you need for the smaller sizes. It does go up to 3 1/4, but I have found that I've had lots of fabric left over. So for example, for one gift that I made some matching underwear, so it turned it into a really good gift then, because it was the robe and underwear that matched as well. They're absolutely brilliant for Christmas presents, so if you are planning what to make for people for Christmas, then I would definitely recommend this pattern. Time-wise, this actually only takes a couple of hours to make up, and that is what the Seamwork patterns are geared towards. They're quick and simple patterns, so from start to finish, all in all, about 2 hours, so great if you haven't got much time. To finish the edges, you use a bias binding. So what I've actually done is I've attached bias binding, but then I've folded it over twice so as it's enclosed inside the fabric. So on the inside you can't see the bias binding. With a couple of other versions, I've just folded it over so you can actually see the contrast binding on the inside, and either works fine. The sleeves, they're this lovely kimono shape which actually kicks out at the end, and what you do is you add this cuff onto the sleeve, which gives it that extra shape as well. The pattern does say that you can interface the cuff if you wanted it to hold in place more stiffly like that, but I wanted mine to be nice and loose and nice and soft, so I didn't add any of the interface in there. I must say as well, I've actually worn this kimono just as a jacket or as a top, more in the summer months, but especially on holiday as well. It's probably one of my most worn items. It's super comfy and it washes really well also. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about this. Definitely check out the Seamwork patterns or the membership. If you have never heard of it, it is worth looking into. I think £5 a month is good value. They are all PDF patterns though, so it depends on, they're a bit like Marmite, you either love them or you hate them. I don't mind so much the cutting out and taping together of patterns, because I hate working with tissue paper patterns. I just find them too flimsy. I find that once I've put pins in them a few times, they start to tear. So I would much rather work with a PDF pattern. And it also means then that I've got it available in all different sizes without having to trace it off. So you could just print and retape if you wanted to make them in other sizes for gifts. What I actually did is made up a master pattern and then traced it onto pattern paper so that I didn't have to keep cutting out and retaping. So they are all PDF patterns, so it depends how you feel about that, but for me it works really, really well, and I have tried quite a few of the Seamwork patterns. Okay, so thanks for stopping by. I hope you found that useful. Any questions about the pattern at all, do just add in the comments below. And once you've finished watching the video, just keep it playing, because I will add a few photos so you can see some different versions of this kimono robe that I've made. Okay, that's great. Thank you. See you soon.